that is when you're detoxing the brain. That is when basically all the goodness happens. Brain health, really the foundation to it starts with sleep.
Welcome back to the Kwik Brain Podcast. I am your host and your brain coach, Jim Kwik of Kwik Learning. And as always, we're here to help you to learn quickly. We have a bunch of important brain bites to help you to optimize your brain by optimizing your sleep. And that's the subject for today. We're going to talk about how to sleep like a pro, how to boost your brain power literally overnight, if you will. And so, by the way, if you're interested in sleep, many of you have already purchased the brand new edition of Limitless. There's a whole chapter dedicated to optimizing your sleep. Make sure you check that out at limitlessbook.com. It's newly updated with new chapters, post-pandemic world, how to master your mind, how to use AI to enhance your HI, your human intelligence, and so much more, including nootropics. So it's a very popular subject. Also, I want to thank everybody who took your brain quiz. It's a free assessment you can take in 4 minutes at mybrainanimal.com, and you can see your brain animal. I mean, I'm curious what animal our guest will be, but are you a cheetah? Are you an owl? Are you a dolphin or an elephant? And also, we give you sleep tips based on your brain animal type. Very, very fascinating research, and that's something we're gifting out to our community at mybrainanimal.com. So let's jump into this. How do you sleep like a pro? I'm excited here today to have our guest, Jack Dell'Accio. He's the CEO and founder of Essentia. He's analyzed sleep for over 20 years. He's a certified sleep coach by the Hippocrates Health Institute, and he focuses on the impact of restorative sleep in terms of for recovery from disease, prevention of disease, longevity.
Chronic poor sleep really is a major factor in a cognitive decline and risks to diseases like Alzheimer's.
And also, what I know everybody is interested in, greater levels of mental and physical performance. When I'm talking about sleeping like a pro, Jack knows his stuff because he has worked with some of the world's top athletes, professional athletes, to optimize their recovery and their performance. Through the years, he's worked directly with health experts, professional athletes, as I mentioned, and teams from the NBA, the NFL, the MLS, and a lot of more abbreviations, the NHL, and more.
They all said that they were able to better focus, better clarity, a reduction in stress, reduction in anxiety, an ability to absorb their training and instructions that much easier.
I really like his mattress company. It's the one that our family chooses to use. Instantly, when we were looking online, searching for mattresses, this was kind of a no-brainer, pun intended. Essentia's organic mattress has been recognized by several international renowned organizations, including the Mayo Clinic Wellness Living Lab, and named #1 foam mattress by Consumer Reports for 7 consecutive years.
We've taken the difficult road of making something super well engineered, high density, long lasting, everything that a business advisor would have told me not to do.
And we're going to talk about a study that Jack has done and performed. It was a double-blind sleep study of professional athletes who have to be at their best mentally and physically, which proves that Essentia, his mattress company, can extend the time spent in the 2 important areas of sleep, your REM sleep and your deep sleep cycles, by 20 to 60%. And, our family, we measure our sleep and we got that instant boost. And I love it because it's passive.
If you can increase REM and increase deep sleep, you're only getting positive results. And that's the positive results we had from the double-blind study.
You can find out more about this mattress also. They're offering a very special discount for our community. And so I want to thank you, Jack, for making that possible. It's at myessentia.com/Kwik. You could use the discount code Kwik and save some money off your purchase of a mattress. And welcome to the show, Jack.
Thank you, Jim. I really appreciate being here. Actually, really excited about the angle in the sense that I'm on a lot of different podcasts or interviews, and we talk about, sleep and how we enhance sleep and eliminate stimulants, but really brain health is at the core of what we do throughout those 8 hours of sleep.
It's everything. Now, we originally met because you and I have had the opportunity to share the stage multiple times at various health and wellness and biohacking events, giving keynote presentations, and I get to learn from you. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation. You know, our listeners, if they're listening to this episode, they probably have some kind of sleep issue, whether it's insomnia or sleep apnea, or maybe they go to sleep, but they can't stay asleep. There's something that's going on here. But before we get started to your sleep tips for greater professional performance, what got you interested in the first place in sleep optimization? How has it personally affected you, and what kind of put you on this road?
Well, early on, I think like so many people who change direction in life, it usually comes either with a personal health concern or event, or in my case, a family member. Initially, my goal here was to develop something that was non-toxic, didn't have VOCs, because of basically the reaction and intolerance that my dad had to these VOCs in his environment when he was going through health challenges. That was what early on I was going for, something that gave physical support, was able to relieve pain while not irritating any of the chemical sensitivities that he had. When I launched the company, after I had developed the product, my development didn't stop. And after a few years later, I was able to patent a core that really, I was beginning to understand performance sleep. So within 5 years is when we really started working with professional athletes. So there was those first 5 years where we went through this transition from supporting those who were in their life challenges, whether it be cancer patients, to then just by reputation going to people who were in remission. But then it became people who were in prevention, to eventually lifestyle, to finally by 2009, we were focused on performance sleep. And it's been an obsession, learning through those years, but developing the materials to make the optimal sleep environment. And, up until 2 years ago, we've always been improving. I'd say that we have made the most performing mattress since at the very least 2009. And we've only kept outdoing ourselves through those years to try to hit new levels of optimizing sleep.
It's interesting because, just think about it, to everyone who's listening, we'll spend probably about a third of our lives sleeping, and we'll spend, that means we're spending about a third of our life in our bed, on a specific mattress. And we've done multiple episodes on the podcast about sleep. We've never talked about a mattress and selecting a mattress. I'm going to go through that also and get into the sleep tips. To make it relevant to our audience, maybe we could talk about a little bit about how does the sleep quality, so it's not just quantity, it's the quality of our sleep. How does that impact our memory, our brain, our learning, and other cognitive functions? Are there specific stages of sleep that are most crucial for the brain? Maybe we could talk about the effects of sleep and our brain.
So anybody who's heard me speak will always hear me obsess about REM sleep and deep sleep. Chronic poor sleep really is a major factor in a cognitive decline and risk to diseases like Alzheimer's. But the key is which part of sleep is critical. We talk about 7-8 hours of sleep, but truly that's just because every person is different and everyone has a different need as far as length, because you're trying to achieve optimal REM sleep and deep sleep. Those slow wave sleep patterns, that is when you're detoxing the brain. That is when basically all the goodness happens, where your lymphatic system is eliminating basically all the toxins in the brain. It's a very necessary part. That's why sleep is absolutely necessary. But also in that REM sleep is where you're filing away and storing those memories, those experiences of your day. It's in those sleep cycles, and that sleep cycles, the REM sleep, when you're filing this away and it becomes part of your long-term memory. Brain health, really the foundation to it starts with sleep.
Yes. And so you're cleaning out, it's kind of like the sewage system kicks in when we're getting that slow wave sleep, cleans out the beta amyloid plaques that can lead to brain aging challenges if people have long-term memory issues. which a lot of people are interested in improving their memory. It's where you're consolidating short to long-term memory. And so it's one of the most important areas. I think it's probably the most crucial thing you could do for your brain is, I mean, people could exercise and they could eat right, but if they're not sleeping, it could be a real challenge. And so we'll go get into the mattress and selecting a good mattress, and we'll talk a little bit about Essentia. Hi, this is Jim Kwik, author of New York Times and Wall Street Journal bestseller Limitless, and today I am thrilled to share with you some exciting news. It is Limitless Expanded. It's an updated and brand new edition of my transformative guide, and now it's enriched with new insights and new tools to help you navigate our post-pandemic world. For a limited time, when you pre-order your copy of Limitless Expanded, you're going to get exclusive free access to my 13-day Quick Start 2.0 training. It's a brain training plus a bunch of amazing bonuses. Just go to limitlessbook.com and pick up a copy for you and pick up a copy for a friend. For individuals who are struggling with insomnia or disruptive sleep, what are some of your favorite go-to, when you're coaching, what actionable strategies that they could implement tonight even to improve their sleep and the sleep of their family?
The focus is a couple of things. One is the sleep environment. Mattress plays a major role in this, and we'll get to that. But generally speaking, clean air environment, no VOCs. So you need to have a clean room because that's when your body is vulnerable. In these moments when you're sleeping, you're looking to detox your body and you're looking to recover, is also when you're most vulnerable. So you need to have a clean room. Now, you may not be able to do that tonight, but it's up there on your priority list. Two is lighting. Is eliminate those stimulants. One of the things you'll hear me say all the time is eliminating stimulants, and stimulants are basically what disrupts sleep. And there's so many things that people don't realize are stimulating them. Allergens. 25% of people suffer from allergens, yet they may be in an environment where there are dust mites, bed bugs, all different proteins of feces and corpses that are triggering an active central nervous system. So for lighting, sounds, these are the obvious ones. Sleep routine. Start getting your body and mind into predicting. Everyone's heard of your internal clock. Well, that's something that your body gets adapted to. And if you keep changing the times in which you go to sleep and wake up, your brain has a difficulty predicting it. So it'll never kind of prepare you in the wind down. But if you're doing the same sleep routine, if you're going to bed every night at 10 p.m., your brain will adapt to that and start predicting that and expect it. And your onset of sleep will happen more rapidly. Another thing is you may want to have a routine. So this, when some people try to have the same schedule, what is your pre-sleep routine? Because that's another trigger for the brain. So it could be music, could be a soothing aromatherapy, maybe a bath or a shower for something, but something that relaxes you prior to sleep. For those who have even more complications with the onset of sleep, that half hour before is a big deal. And then nutrition. Again, focus on eliminating stipulation. Don't exercise 2 to 3 hours before sleep. Do not eat anything 2 to 3 hours before sleep. All these things keep a very active body, very active brain, and that the struggles with insomnia will continue or be on the rise.
I like this conversation about eliminating stimulants because obviously you don't want to be aroused, when you're in that rest and digest place. And there's a lot of discussion nowadays about the light that comes, the blue light that comes from screens that's also affecting our sleep. Maybe you could delve into a little bit about its impact. What should people know about their screen time before they go to bed?
One of the things I've realized, you even work with pro athletes, and a lot of the pro athletes we work with are quite young, right? So getting a 20 to 25-year-old to put down their phone, to put down their tablet is really difficult. And a lot of the technologies we've worked on has been something that works around it so that you can, biohack your sleep without having to resort to going back to primitive years, right? And that's one of the things we're also really proud of. But so for example, my son just recently I'd like to talk to my family about everything I know about sleep, but at times I feel like I'm paid attention to way more outside the house than in the house. But last week I saw him gaming, and he had the blue light blocking glasses on, which I was really happy to see that he was listening. So if you're going to be using some screen time, really putting on those glasses is a really strong habit to get a hold of. If you're not going to be disciplined to say that you're not going to look at screens, I would even suggest putting on those glasses any time in the day, because that stimulation is never positive. Everything in daylight is all the stimulation you naturally need. Some people need a shock of light in the morning if they want to accelerate that morning routine. But when it comes to preparing for nighttime and the onset of sleep, the less of that blue light access that you're triggering your brain with, the better you are. The one thing that I've noticed is people focus on what they can see. So lighting, people understand that. Sounds is obviously something that makes sense. But I can't stress enough how important the elimination of allergens and VOCs are. Those VOCs, the toxins around you, they're invisible, but they are accelerating your central nervous system. They're keeping you out of the REM sleep and deep sleep. So really focus on a clean home is really important as well.
What are VOCs for those who don't know what they are?
Volatile organic compounds. They are the toxins that come out of synthetic materials. We've noted that in a bedroom, the most toxic piece in that bedroom is typically your mattress. Mattresses are made of polyurethane foams and springs. And, for the most part, your common mattress houses allergens and toxins. And those are what's in your sleep environment. Those toxins seep in through your pores, and you're breathing them in. And they are basically stimulating your mind. What it does is really reduces time spent in REM and deep sleep, which is, again, what I've obsessed with, because I know that that's the secret to your wellness. And it keeps you in the light sleep cycles. It's sort of like if anyone's ever experienced taking a sleeping pill. You take a sleeping pill and you crash for the night, but you wake up in the morning feeling really groggy. Why is that? The reason is that a narcotic will knock you out so you're not conscious, but it actually doesn't keep you in the deep sleep cycles, which is where true recovery happens. In the same way that chronic exposure to toxins is doing the exact same thing. It's keeping you away from those slow sleep cycles, which is, again, where all the magic happens.
My wife and I saw an instant boost in our sleep quality when we chose to use your mattress. Maybe we could go into mattresses. And I mentioned we'll probably spend a third of our life in bed, which is, many decades. What advice would you give to somebody who's listening that never really gave some thought other than the comfort of the mattress? How should people be shopping for a mattress? What are the things they should to look for? Because even with us, we were looking at, the off-gassing to some of the furniture in our home or that comes from our carpet. These fire retardants or these neurotoxins that could be off-gassing from the furniture. But what are some of the things that people should be looking for when they're shopping for a mattress, the thing that they're going to spend a few decades, in?
I'll give you the 7 stimulants to avoid.
Oh, perfect.
And those 7 stimulants is what we've achieved all in one. But I understand that not everyone will have an Essentia. But I still want people to sleep well, even if it's not on Essentia, obviously. So what you'll have to do is decide which is the priority as an individual, because likely you won't be able to address all 7 of them in the products that are out there. But again, choosing your priority is still really key. So, for example, as I mentioned, a certified organic product that will eliminate all VOCs. And when I say certified organic product, you got to make sure that it's a Galls and Gott's certified organic product. You got to be aware that there's so much greenwashing that goes out there that a product that sounds organic may not be organic. So you really have to dig in to see that they're certified and what they're made out of. You don't want to have coils in a mattress. It has to be a foam mattress because, again, you don't want the EMFs that are coming from Wi-Fi and your cell phone signals. They kind of spiral, and already they're very erratic waves that are coming into our space. But those are erratic movements are also spiraling from coils. So you want to avoid coils. You want to have a certified organic product. And there you've handled the number one stimulant, which is the VOC. You want to sleep cool. Now, here's some of the challenges. You need to drop your room temperature. You need to sleep on natural components, organic cotton. You don't want to have synthetics that trap heat as well. The only trick here is that the true optimization of this is an activated cooling, which is dynamic throughout your sleep. So no matter what temperature you sleep on the onset of sleep, if that temperature is constantly dropping throughout the night, you will promote a slowdown of your central nervous system, and you'll stay longer in deep sleep and REM sleep. So sleeping cool is great for the onset of sleep, but that dynamic, constant drop in temperature for 8 hours is what's going to put it over the top. Allergens, you make sure you're not, ideally, if you're not on a pillow top. Anything that has a quilting, has an ability for a nesting ground for dust mites and bed bugs, that will trigger allergens. Even if you're not noticing rashes or any respiratory issues, your body's still fighting them. So allergens is also really key. Pressure redistribution. See, most people go to mattresses only when it comes to comfort and pain. Those are triggers. Those are stimulants. So you do want to have pain management. So a good mattress with proper support that will eliminate the pain stimulant. Pressure redistribution means that you're unobstructing your blood flow, which means you're getting better oxygen flow throughout your body. And you're not stimulating this disruption that your brain is not getting ample oxygen. I mentioned EMFs. EMFs, a product like ours incorporates that protection into the mattress. But if you shut down any of your streaming, any of your phone calls, that will help, because what ends up happening with EMFs is they create your blood cells to behave erratically. And we've done real serious testing on this, because anytime we launch a product, we have customers who are institutionals, we have biohackers, very informed customers. Anything we release has to be evidence-based. So we've been able to observe through dark field microscopy that the blood cell behavior in all this erratic Wi-Fi and data signals, the blood cells tend to pack together and prevent oxygen from flowing as freely. So that's a really key, important part. EMS, it's another thing you can't see, but it is impacting your body. And ultimately, if you have a surface that can stop you from tossing, turning, minimize that, be supportive at every change of movement, it's stopping those sleep interruptions. I know I've said a lot, and I know it's really tough to walk into a mattress store and try to hit all these. And honestly, outside of Essentia, you'll probably hit 2 or 3, and you won't be able to hit them all, just because that's kind of the magic that we've been able to do. But I encourage someone to try to get at least those top 3 off that list, and each one of these stimulants will help your sleep. That is absolutely certain. I'm absolutely certain of that. And when it comes to our pros and our biohacking hackers, obviously they want to hit them all, because that's why it's so impactful, so immediate, and the results are incredible.
Yeah, those stimulants, it could be keeping people up, and increase the latency in terms of how long it takes for someone to fall asleep. Those stimulants could also be waking people up, whether they're conscious of it or not, and getting them out and keeping them in that lighter sleep, and not getting them into that REM sleep, or also that deep sleep. I'm curious about that EMF protection. Is that in your foam formula? How does that work? Because you spoke of blood test results and the benefit that this formula has to optimizing more of the oxygen, to our body. And obviously our brain is part of our body, and that's obviously very important.
What happened 5 years ago, when I was giving lectures to some pro teams, and I was encouraging them to really shut off all electronics, all devices, all downloads and streaming when they get into their bedroom environment and their sleep environment. And I really had a lot of pushback. The players who were being honest with me said, we're just not doing it. There's so many things they want to do, but they don't want to be detached. And I get it. These are people who are away from their families, and their only way of communicating and staying in contact with their world is to, on their downtime, is to be communicating. So I was really motivated to try to figure out a way around how do we embrace modern technology, modern communications, and not interrupt our sleep. And so EMFs are all these waves that are coming from all these antennas and satellites and data signals. All that information, it's coming through in a very erratic way. So I started experimenting with quartz in our latex formula. So the quartz in our latex formula has two parts to it. One is it helps us with the cooling. It's almost like, imagine you're like on a flexible rock. A stone retains coolness. So our latex formula, having the quartz inside, helps your body temperature and the sleep surface temperature drop an average of 9 degrees over an 8-hour time lapse, which is substantial. And because, as I mentioned earlier, it's gradual, well, that quartz is doing exact job that we need it to do, is to keep your system working at the slow cycles, at the REM and deep cycles. But also, quartz has great memory skills. It's able to maintain a signal. So what we have is activated quartz. So it has a low frequency, which becomes the dominant frequency in your sleep environment. So while your cell phone signal comes in, it doesn't come in an erratic method. Once it gets into our 10-foot zone, it follows a low-level frequency. So the signals get through. You're able to use your all your devices, but it does not disrupt your blood cell behavior. So we've eliminated the erratic behavior of your blood cells.
It's outstanding. This makes it a no-brainer. What I love about your mattress, and I don't want to turn this into an infomercial, it's passive. It's one of those things where, we went online and picked out our mattress, and then all of a sudden, we don't have to think about it anymore. And I like things like that because, for other things that we do to biohack or to optimize, different areas of our life, it takes this energy and it takes this tremendous amount of effort. But this, you have it and it's done. In the opening, I mentioned how your mattress was recently part of a double-blind study with professional athletes, showing that these athletes sleeping on your mattress experience a 20 to 60% longer REM and deep sleep cycles. That's not a little bit. That's a huge lift for any of us, whether you're competing at that level or not. I hope you're enjoying this episode, and if you want to go deeper with many of these authors that we have on our podcast, these experts, I want to invite you to join our Kwik Success program. This is our monthly lives that I do, where I teach something brand new that we haven't taught before, answer your burning questions, and also we have something that people have been requesting for many years, a Kwik Book Club. This is your limitless book club where every single month we read a book together, like a book provided by this author. And then we get the author to come online and join us for a 1 hour, share going deeper in these strategies, how to put them into practice. I share my 5 tips for how to memorize things out of these books. Many people want to read a book a month or build up to that, and this would be the program. So if you want to join, just go to kwiksuccess.com and get your spot and join us live and get to meet these authors very up close and personal. And back to the episode. How did this translate to their performance? And what more can you share about this study and the results?
The reason we did this study last year was that we had made the update to the quartz and the activated quartz technology in our performance mattresses. So once we complete something, before really launching it to the public, we really wanted to have a proper study done, see if we've actually moved the needle or not. Because again, everything we do and everything we put into it increases costs. And so we only do it if it makes sense. As we believed it would make huge impact, we had to have a double-blind study to verify this before the launch. So we did this. So it was a 10-week study, 75 players, double-blind, so not everyone had the Essentia product. And interesting to see one of the funny parts of having a study is that everyone thinks they're on the Essentia product, right? So, and they know they're being analyzed. So everyone's on their best behavior. They're in their best sleep routines. And we can see that everyone who was not on the Essentia mattress, their sleep habits were really good. And we can see that the onset of sleep, everything was working properly. But where it failed was in the REM sleep and deep sleep. The reason why is you can't consciously affect that. Whereas the players who are on the Essentia sleep, which eliminates all the stimulants and the EMFs, once they're in unconscious sleep, again, you can't control that. They had the increase in REM sleep and the increase in deep sleep. And they said from 20 to 60%, which is an incredible number. One of the interesting things is when interviewed the players, they all said that they were able to, across the board, better focus, better clarity, a reduction in stress, reduction in anxiety, an ability to absorb their training and instructions that much easier, and a sense of happiness. Just that alone, I mean, was super huge, because all of that leads to their great performance. One of the things that's a little harder for us to track is recovery from injury, because everyone recovers injury a little bit at a different pace. But we feel that increasing that deep sleep absolutely proves statistically that it will accelerate your recovery from injury. So those are the two elements in deep sleep. So if you can increase REM and increase deep sleep, you're only getting positive results. And that's the positive results we had from the double-blind study. So we were ready to launch it. 12 weeks following this study, the results of this study is when we launched our whole new quartz formula. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of excitement from our whole team. And we had the same feedback from consumers who are using the product, because everybody tracks their sleep these days. I mean, not everyone, but so many do, right? So through Oura rings or whatever wearable devices or non-wearables, people have been giving us feedback that their sleep has improved. So that was very satisfying. It's like you kind of said, I don't like talking too much about it. I'm sometimes uncomfortable talking about the product, because when I'm sleep coaching, I'm not trying to sell a product. I'm just trying to spread awareness and wellness on sleep. The problem is I've put 20 years into making the perfect product. So it always leads back to myself talking about Essentia.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you and your team, because I know you're very mission driven, and you almost feel like a moral obligation to share this with people. I'll tell people, for our family, it really works. So people are so concerned about maybe things like the food that they eat and, the chemicals that are in there, but we don't think about, our environment as much, especially the environment we're spending the most time, where we need to have that peace of mind. That's really what Essentia has given us. And I want to thank your team also. We asked your team to be able to really take care of our community, and they provided a code for everybody who's interested in looking into your mattress. They could use the code KWIK, KWIK, to get an immediate discount off your purchase for your mattress. And you can go to myessentia.com/KWIK to get all of the details. And so Jack, thank you for making that offer available to our community. I'm sure a lot of people will take you up on it, and it's kind of a no-brainer. It certainly is an investment, but if you also take that out and extrapolate it over years that you're going to have the mattress, I mean, it's very nominal, to have that peace of mind and that performance that's going to come from sleeping in a place where it's rejuvenating, it's recovering, it's nourishing. So thank you very much for that.
You're absolutely welcome. We've taken the difficult road of making something super well engineered, high density, long lasting, everything that a business advisor would have told me not to do. Make something that doesn't last as long. Make something inexpensive so everyone can have it. That makes sense, but doesn't give you the best outcomes. I put my name behind a product that has the best outcomes, because that's what I believe in. That's what I saw early on when it was people suffering from diseases. That's what I see through my pro athletes and biohackers. And that's what keeps me happy, is seeing people thrive.
Amazing. Well, I'm sure you're going to hear a lot of success stories. I encourage everybody who take you up on this incredible, generous offer to post your results and send it to your company also. We'll put the links, as we always do, in the show notes, as well to the studies and, a lot of great articles we found online. We'll include a summary of your sleep tips here at jimkwik.com/notes, as we always do. And Jack, thanks again for the work you do and for being on our show.
Thank you, Jim. I really appreciate it. Love being here. And I look forward to the next time we're on stage again.
Absolutely. I want to thank everyone for listening to this episode. If you got value in it, make sure to take a screenshot of this right now and post it online. And, you could tag Jack, and tag myself so we get to see it. You get to share it with your fans, your followers, your family, your friends. And, little by little, a little becomes a lot. And together, everything is always better. We're not alone. What social media can they find you and your company at?
Basically on Instagram or at Essentia. That's the best place. That's where I participate in and put any tips and all that on that. Same thing with Facebook. And I've got my personal LinkedIn is Jack Dell'Accio. If anybody needs to reach out, I'm always here to help. A lot of my sleep coaching is to help people. And that's what just, I do appreciate that part of seeing people overcome their obstacles.
Yes. So make sure when you make the posts, share your favorite go-to sleep tips, again, online. I'll repost because you'll tag us, in some of my favorites. And I wish everybody to put some of these things into use, some of these tips. If you're able to do the mattress, do so. And also, make sure that you get a good night's sleep tonight. And until our next episode, be limitless, everybody. Take care.